I'm a wife and mother of 4 children. I just became a grandmother. Breastfed all of my children for up to 2.5 years. I come from a breastfeeding family, so I knew that it was something that I wanted to do. It was kind of like a rite of passage that I learned from my mother, who learned from her grandmother. And I found in our community that a lot of moms were struggling with that. I first started like in, community get-togethers with other moms, religious centers, things of that nature. And people would ask questions about breastfeeding because they would see me breastfeed my own children. And I found that there weren't a lot of supports in our area for breastfeeding. So I really kind of dug deep into it. For overall health of our community, breastfeeding is just amazing. And I feel like if we all kind of lean in to support the breastfeeding mother, more women will feel as though that they have access to the best stuff on earth. Breast milk, we call it the liquid gold standard. It is jam-packed with antibodies and all the good stuff to help to prevent chronic illness, not only in the baby, but also the mom. Fact-based information shows that moms that breastfeed lower their risk of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and all of those things. And children who are breastfed, you lower your risk of SIDS and obesity, and you keep them healthy and strong. Allowing it to be the norm and creating safe spaces for women to feel comfortable with breastfeeding. A lot of the moms that I serve look at breastfeeding as a luxury, and it's not. And everyone should have access to it and feel comfortable with it. So being able to have jobs that allow for breastfeeding breaks and rooms and encourage moms to be able to take that time and still feel close to their baby by stopping and pausing to pump for a minute, but still be able to get back to work. I think that's really important. I feel like it's not promoted enough, and I even noticed this just this week when I went to the pediatrician with my daughter and her new baby, was that there's just formula cans everywhere in the office, and no one asked if she was planning to breastfeed or if she wanted to breastfeed. It wasn't even a question. Where I feel as though in our clinics and at the pediatrician and the OBGYN and all of those places should be encouraging breastfeeding. There should be breastfeeding posters. They should be asking moms, have they thought about how they want to feed their baby? What do they know about breastfeeding? What have you heard about breastfeeding? So I think that that's an integral component, because even if you don't come from a breastfeeding family, or you don't know anyone who has breastfed, it hasn't been introduced to you. But if you go in after you find out that you're pregnant and you're in a clinic, and instead of seeing formula cans everywhere, you actually see some positive imagery of breastfeeding and someone's asking you about breastfeeding. I think also in the home, especially as it relates to our partners, having a partner that not only supports breastfeeding, but also takes time to learn about breastfeeding so that they can be a good support system. I also noticed that several of the young women suffer when they have to go back to work and the baby is born to a daycare center that knows nothing about breastfeeding too. I had one mom that came in and she said she was at work and she was getting all these calls about her son, that he needed to be picked up because he had diarrhea. And she had to leave work, and she would go and she's like, he's just a breastfed baby, and this is how their poop is, right? It's normal. The milk is easier for the baby to digest, so the poops are soft, and that's how it is. But the standard daycare center doesn't know that. They don't know how to mix and, prepare the bottles and warm the milk and all that type of stuff. And some people are just scared of it in general. So having that education also at the child care centers is very important. Mother-to-mother support is essential. Creating safe circles for moms to discuss breastfeeding and encourage each other is very important with peers as well. Just checking in, giving a phone call, being there to answer questions and kind of assist each other with the same things. One of the things that I talk to my moms about is, while they're pregnant, having a discussion with their superiors, letting them know that, you know, I love my job and I plan to return. But when I return, I'm going to be breastfeeding. And these are some of the things that I may need to help me with this journey. I need a couple breaks throughout the day. They won't be long, 15 minutes here and there, but to allow me to be able to take these breaks. If that means that I have to shave a half an hour off of my hour lunch break, but I definitely need a quiet, peaceful, and clean space to be able to pump and provide milk for my child. There shouldn't be moms that are, you know, trying to pump in a bathroom or, you know, in their car or what have you. I think that, you know, we've reached a stage 2024 where we should be able to create spaces within our office. It's a very underserved community, and a lot of times the women that I serve, they have to get right back to work. I see some women that are like, I have 2 weeks and then I have to get back. I think also just normalizing it where you don't have to hide. It's okay, it's normal, it's natural. And even if it was something that your mom wasn't able to do because she had limited knowledge, now it's here, right? Now the knowledge and support is here. I also, when I deal with my women of color, one of the things that I really like to capitalize on is the health benefits, right? We want our children to be healthy. We also need that brain cell development. We want them to be strong. We want them to be resilient. And if you have to work and your children are in daycare, one of the things that we see are the kids always have runny noses or ear infections. They're always sick. And the difference is that baby that's being breastfed, they have this extra layer of protection, right? And it's like, if you know that you have to work, right? There's less time off from work, less nights up with a sick baby. Why? Because this baby is getting that breast milk. So I like to show, highlight the benefits of that breastfed baby for that working mom. And then also, again, looping in. I think one of the biggest issues we have with women of color is that their parents did not have the same access. So getting your parents involved, bring your parent to the WIC office with you, bring them to the classes, bring the father of the baby who knows nothing about breast milk, right, or breastfeeding. Bring them, you know, introduce them to this thing that is so natural, and it's a privilege to be able to support these moms, especially first-time breastfeeders.